This story is titled "My Wife Left Me After I Funded Her Business. Then Reality Hit Her Hard. Now She Wants Me Back." Hey everyone, before we dive into today's video, I need a quick favor. We've noticed the channel's been losing some momentum, and one of the best ways you can help is by subscribing. It's fast, free, and makes a huge difference in helping us keep creating awesome content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. And now, let's get into the video. I never thought I'd be the guy posting on here, but here we are. 2 years ago, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I trusted my wife. I believed in her dreams. I supported her with everything I had. And what did she do in return? She built herself up, told me I was holding her back, and walked out on me and our 2 daughters for some slick-talking, suit-wearing fraud named Brad. Now, she's broke, abandoned, and standing at my doorstep, begging for another chance. This isn't just another "my wife cheated" story. Oh no, this is a full-blown saga of delusion, betrayal, and the ultimate downfall of a woman who thought she was too good for the life I gave her. If you've ever watched someone trade a solid, loving family for some fake influencer lifestyle, only to have it explode in their face, you're going to want to stick around for this. So let's rewind. I'm Mike, 35M, and until recently, I thought I had the perfect life. I was married to Anna, 34F, for 12 years. We had 2 awesome kids, Zoe, 11F, and Maya, 9F. We lived in a nice suburban neighborhood in Virginia. I worked a solid job in medical device sales, nothing glamorous, but it paid well and gave us stability. Anna, she used to be the best wife and mother. She was creative, fun, and thoughtful. She'd make these incredible scrapbooks for our kids, turn bedtime stories into full theatrical productions, and randomly plan elaborate surprises just to make life feel special. She was the type of person who could take a boring Tuesday night and turn it into an adventure. But then, as she got bored, with the kids now in school full-time, she felt like she was losing herself. She needed something more, and that's where it all started. Her sister, Jenny, got in her head. Jenny, 37F, had been divorced for 3 years after her husband cheated on her with a younger woman. Ever since then, she'd gone full self-help empowerment guru mode, the type that posts long-winded Instagram captions about unlocking her feminine power and manifesting abundance. Normally, I wouldn't care, but then she started spending way too much time with Anna. Every day, Jenny was at our house, drilling Anna with ideas. They'd sit in our kitchen for hours, drinking coffee and talking about building an empire. Jenny kept showing her these Instagram accounts of women who quit their jobs, started businesses from their phones, and became boss babes. At first, I didn't think much of it. Anna was excited, and I wanted to support her. That's what a good husband does, right? Then she had the idea. She wanted to start a soap business. But not just any soap. This was going to be spiritual cleansing soap, infused with crystals and positive energy. She had this whole plan about targeting the wellness community. And me? Like an idiot, I backed her 100%. I spent weeks helping her get started. Used my sales expertise to set up her website, got her supplies, and even hired a tech guy to handle inventory tracking. It cost us about $3,000 to launch, but I figured, why not? Seeing her excited again made it worth it. For a while, it actually seemed like a good idea. The business took off. She started making about $5,000 to $6,000 a month. She was happy. The house was spotless because she needed good backgrounds for her soap photos. The kids were still involved. Everything seemed fine. But then, Jenny convinced her she could be something bigger. And that's when I started losing my wife. She stopped making dinner, stopped spending time with the kids, stopped being Anna. Instead, she became someone obsessed with scaling her brand, attending networking events, and finding the energy alignment of her business. Then she met Brad, and my entire life fell apart. When Anna first told me about her spiritual soap business, I was all in. I mean, why wouldn't I be? She had always been creative, ambitious, and full of energy. This was something she was excited about, something that made her feel fulfilled after years of being a stay-at-home mom. At first, it felt good. Like, really good. I'd come home from work, and she'd be in the garage, setting up photo shoots for her latest batch of handmade soaps, arranging them on a bed of dried lavender, rose petals, and those tiny crystals she insisted were infused with positive energy. The house smelled like citrus and sage, and Anna had this glow about her that I hadn't seen in a long time. The business actually took off. She started selling at local craft fairs. She set up an Instagram shop and was pulling in $5,000 to $6,000 a month within just a few months. Even the local yoga studio started carrying her soaps. Our friends and family were hyping her up, and I kept telling people, yeah, my wife started this amazing business. She's killing it. I felt like the supportive husband. I helped her set up the website, handle orders, and even found a tech guy to track inventory. I figured, why not invest in her dream? We spent about $3,000 getting everything off the ground, but it didn't seem like a big deal. But then, things started to shift. At first, it was small things. Anna started talking different. Instead of saying, I made some sales today, it was, I'm scaling my empire. Instead of, I love making soap, it became, I'm unlocking my CEO mindset. And then, there was Jenny. My sister Jenny had been through a brutal divorce a few years back, and ever since then, she'd been obsessed with female empowerment. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for women succeeding, but Jenny took it to another level. She had turned into one of those Instagram motivational speakers, posting things like, men hold us back, step into your power, ladies, and never settle. Upgrade your life. And now, she was practically living at our house. Anna and Jenny would sit in the kitchen for hours drinking overpriced matcha lattes, scrolling Instagram, and talking about becoming millionaires. Jenny kept feeding Anna's ego, telling her she was a visionary CEO and that she was too talented to waste her time on basic household chores. That's when Anna stopped cooking dinner. First, it was, I'm too busy fulfilling orders, babe. Can you grab takeout? Then, I have a business strategy session tonight. Just make the kids something easy. Then one night, she actually told me, cooking lowers my CEO energy. The hell? This was the same woman who used to meal prep like a pro and bake cookies with the kids. Now, she suddenly couldn't even boil pasta because she had to focus on scaling? The kids noticed. They felt it. Zoe had a basketball tournament. Anna missed it for an Instagram live session. Maya needed help with her homework. Anna was too busy planning her brand relaunch. We used to watch movies together as a family, Anna was now glued to business webinars. When I brought it up, she just brushed me off. You don't understand, Mike. I'm not just making soap. I'm creating a movement. The garage? Completely taken over. We couldn't even park our cars in there anymore because it was filled with drying racks, supplies, and crystals. The entire house smelled like lavender, eucalyptus, and sage because apparently you had to cleanse your inventory before shipping it out. One day, I walked into the living room, and the kids were eating cereal for dinner. Where's Mom? I asked. She's on a strategy call, Zoe mumbled. I looked at my phone. 8:45 p.m. That's when I realized. I was losing her. And Jenny? Oh, she kept pushing. Anna, you're going to be the next big thing. You have to go all in. Men never understand the power of feminine business energy. I should have put my foot down. I should have said something. But I didn't. I kept thinking, she'll come back to us. This is just a phase. I was so damn wrong. Because then, Brad showed up. Anna's business wasn't just a side hustle anymore. It was her entire personality. And it all got worse after she went to this Women in Business conference in Richmond with Jenny. It was some networking event where they'd learn how to scale their empire, find abundance, and manifest wealth. Translation, it was a business cult. When Anna got back, it was like she had been brainwashed. Now, everything was about CEO energy and feminine power. She started buying weird online courses with titles like How to Step into Your Wealth, The Divine Art of Scaling a Heart-Centered Brand, CEO Mindset for Spiritual Entrepreneurs. And the price tags? Insane. She spent $1,200 on a chair because a powerful CEO needs an abundant workspace. Dropped $3,000 on some business mastermind group run by a woman who called herself a spiritual wealth activator. And then she hired a business coach. That's when Brad entered the picture. I don't know how to describe this guy except walking red flag. You ever see those fake business influencers on Instagram? The ones who post shirtless photos on a beach, talking about financial freedom while selling some overpriced coaching course? That was Brad. He called himself a heart-centered entrepreneurial strategist. His bio literally said, helping divine feminine CEOs manifest millions. He wore tight blue suits, slick back hair, and that fake motivational speaker smile. And Anna? She was obsessed. She came home from a business seminar gushing about how Brad had revolutionized the spiritual product industry. He understands my vision, she said, eyes practically glowing. He's helped other women build seven-figure brands. Then she hit me with the real kicker. Mike, I already signed up for his 6-month coaching package. $15,000. $15,000. I nearly dropped my drink. You paid what? For a guy to tell you how to sell soap. He's not just a coach, she huffed. He's a mentor, a visionary. He's going to take my business to the next level. And just like that, Brad was everywhere. At first, it was weekly Zoom calls. Anna would dress up like she was going to a gala, do her hair, put on expensive perfume, and then sit in front of her laptop talking about scaling her divine business. Then, the in-person meetings started. They were always at fancy hotel lobbies or rooftop bars. Never an office. Never a conference room. Always somewhere where expensive drinks were served. And always late at night. I started noticing small things. She started coming home later. She started wearing new outfits. She started texting constantly. And the biggest red flag? She changed her phone password. She never used to hide her phone from me. We always knew each other's passwords in case of emergencies. Now, when I walked into the room, she'd tilt her phone away, lock the screen fast, or even leave the room to take calls. One night, I checked our credit card statements. There were charges from hotels, charges from fancy steakhouses, charges from luxury cocktail bars, places that had nothing to do with selling soap. But I still didn't have solid proof. Maybe, just maybe, she really was meeting Brad to talk business. I wanted to believe that. I wanted to believe that my wife, the mother of my kids, wouldn't cheat on me. But then, the text came. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I was in a meeting at work when my phone vibrated. A message from Zoe, my 11-year-old daughter. Dad, Mom's with that business coach at the mall. They're kissing. Maya won't stop crying. Please come get us. I just froze. The words didn't even make sense. My wife, kissing Brad, in a public Starbucks, in front of our 2 daughters. I don't even remember driving to the mall. I don't remember parking. All I remember is seeing my daughters' faces, one crying, one dead silent. I took them home. Didn't say a word. Didn't need to. Because at that moment, I realized. I had lost Anna completely. She wasn't my wife anymore. She was Brad's next business project. And I was about to make sure her abundant CEO journey came crashing down real fast. Anna practically danced through the door that evening, her eyes sparkling like she'd just won the lottery. She dropped her purse onto the counter, oblivious to the fact that our daughters were upstairs, shaken and silent. Mike, you won't believe the breakthrough I had today. Brad helped me unlock my next level of abundance, she gushed, adjusting her hair in the microwave's reflection. My fists clenched. She didn't even notice. Didn't even ask where the kids were. Just kept talking about her amazing business strategy session while I stood there gripping my phone, Zoe's text still burning in my mind. I let her ramble for a full minute before I interrupted, my voice ice cold. So, is making out with your business coach at Starbucks part of the strategy? She blinked, then let out a breathy laugh like I had just said something ridiculous. Oh my God, Mike, is that what this is about? The girls probably just misunderstood. I slammed my phone onto the counter, the text from Zoe still open. They didn't misunderstand. Maya was crying. They saw everything. Her face went pale for a second, but then, unbelievably, she rolled her eyes. Mike, you're being so traditional right now. You just don't understand the depth of what Brad and I are building. It's a modern business relationship. You have to be more open-minded about these things. Open-minded. My wife, the woman I build a life with, was standing in our kitchen justifying her affair with words like business synergy and energy alignment. I took a slow, steady breath. Did you even think about our kids? She sighed dramatically, finally noticing my anger. But instead of guilt, there was only frustration. Mike, you always focus on the wrong things. This is why you'll never understand what it means to truly manifest success. I am setting an example for Zoe and Maya, teaching them to be powerful, independent women. Something inside me snapped. Teaching them what? That their mother will abandon them for some scam artist in a tight blue suit? That success means cheating on your husband and lying to your family. My voice echoed in the kitchen, bouncing off the countertops, but Anna didn't flinch. She just scoffed, completely unbothered, like I was some clueless idiot standing in the way of her destiny. I should have seen this coming, she muttered, shaking her head. You've always held me back, Mike. You were fine when I was just your supportive little housewife, but now that I'm thriving, you can't handle it. That was it. That was the moment I knew there was nothing left to save. I stepped back, suddenly exhausted. You think you're thriving? You missed Zoe's tournament. You forgot Maya's school project? You abandoned your family for a man who is literally selling you a fantasy. You're not thriving, Anna. You're drowning. And you don't even see it. Her expression flickered for half a second, like maybe, just maybe, she felt the weight of what she'd done. But just as quickly, she brushed it off and scoffed. I don't have time for this negative energy. I have a brand to build. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was the most delusional thing I had ever heard in my life. Then go build it, Anna. But you're doing it without me, without this house, without our kids. You made your choice. Now live with it. She faltered, just slightly, like she didn't actually expect me to stand my ground. Like she thought I'd do what I always did, be the supportive husband, the patient one, the guy who always found a way to fix things. But not this time. Not after what she had put our daughters through. She squared her shoulders, chin lifting. Fine. Maybe that's for the best. I'm beyond this suburban life anyway. And with that, she turned and walked out, not even bothering to check on the kids. Just left, like our 12 years together meant nothing. By the time she was gone, my hands were shaking with rage. But I didn't punch a wall. I didn't yell. I just exhaled slowly and did the only thing I could do. I picked up my phone and called my lawyer. Anna thought she was winning. Thought she had leveled up, leaving her boring, old husband behind. She had no idea that the empire she had built was already crumbling beneath her feet. And I was about to make sure it fell apart completely. Anna was gone. Out of my house. Out of my life. Or so I thought. But people like Anna don't just disappear quietly. No, they come back when the consequences hit them in the face. And hers were coming faster than she could manifest her way out of. I spent the next few weeks preparing for war. I locked down our bank accounts, moved money into a separate one she couldn't touch, and pulled every financial record I could get my hands on. The lawyer took one look at the mountain of evidence, hotel receipts, credit card statements, proof of neglect, and said, "This is an easy win." But it wasn't just about winning. It was about making sure Anna couldn't come back and take what she didn't deserve. Meanwhile, her business empire was crumbling. Turns out, people don't like waiting weeks for soap that arrives in a broken box smelling like cheap essential oils. Refund requests started piling up, and negative reviews spread like wildfire. 1 star. 2 stars. Never received my order. Soap crumbled apart in one use. Total scam. She tried damage control, posting long, emotional Instagram captions about setbacks and resilience, but people weren't buying it. The same way they weren't buying her soap anymore. Then came the final blow, Brad. Mr. Spiritual CEO vanished the moment Anna's money dried up. No more strategy meetings at fancy hotels. No more late-night business sessions. Just radio silence. She tried calling. He didn't answer. She tried texting. Left on read. The man she threw our marriage away for disappeared like he was never there. Jenny, her biggest cheerleader, was next to jump ship. Once Anna wasn't some girl boss success story she could flaunt, Jenny found something new to latch onto. Probably another self-help movement or some other nonsense. Either way, she wasn't around to hype up Anna's crumbling empire anymore. I knew all this because my mom still talked to everyone, and she wasn't shy about keeping me updated. Anna's struggling, she told me one evening over dinner. She's asking for help. Good, because she sure as hell wasn't getting any from me. The first time Anna actually swallowed her pride enough to reach out to me. It wasn't some heartfelt apology or admission of guilt. No, it was a pathetic, half-baked attempt at manipulation. It was a Thursday night, and I was just finishing dinner with the girls when my phone buzzed. Anna's name flashed across the screen. I almost ignored it. Almost. But some sick part of me wanted to hear just how desperate she'd become. "Mike," she started, her voice soft, almost rehearsed. "Can we talk?" I leaned back in my chair, keeping my voice calm. "About what, Anna?" She sighed, as if I was the one being difficult. "About everything. The business, the kids, us. Us. Like there was still enough to talk about." I didn't respond, just let the silence stretch until she cracked. And oh, she cracked fast. "Look, I know I made mistakes," she rushed on. "I got caught up in things, and I cheated." I cut in. "You cheated on me. You abandoned our daughters. You blew through our savings on a scam. You chose this, Anna. So why are you calling me now?" Another sigh, this one shakier. "Because I need your help." There it was. The real reason. She went on about how she had to move into a tiny one-bedroom apartment. How orders had dried up and refunds were killing whatever little money she had left. How Brad ghosted her the second she couldn't afford his coaching. She didn't say the words I regretted, but I could hear it in her voice. What do you want me to do about it? I asked, not an ounce of sympathy in my tone. I don't know. I miss my family, Mike. I actually laughed. You mean the family you dished for a guy in a tight suit? The family you forgot about while you were manifesting success in a hotel room? That's not fair. Oh, it's not. My grip tightened on the phone. You left us, Anna. You told me I was holding you back. You said you'd outgrown me, that I didn't understand your vision. Well, how's that vision working out for you now? Dead silence. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she tried one last pathetic move. Mike, can we fix this? I let that question hang between us for a few seconds, savoring it. Savoring the absolute karma of this moment. The woman who once told me I wasn't on her level was now standing in the wreckage of the life she destroyed, begging me to pull her out of it. No, Anna, I said finally, my voice cold. We can't. And I hung up. Anna didn't give up after that call. No, desperation makes people persistent. Over the next few weeks, she tried every trick in the book. First, she went for the guilt angle. I miss the girls, she texted one night. Can we set up a dinner? Just the four of us. I didn't respond. Zoe and Maya had made it clear they wanted nothing to do with her right now. They barely spoke her name. Every time I even mentioned their mom, they'd either go silent or change the subject. I wasn't about to force them to sit through some awkward reunion dinner just because Anna suddenly remembered she had kids. Then she tried the nostalgia route. Remember our first anniversary trip to the cabin? You packed us hot chocolate, and we watched the stars for hours. I think about that night a lot. Well, I guess I was supposed to swoon at the mention of a trip that happened over a decade ago and forget the entire disaster she turned our marriage into. I left that text on read. After that, she switched tactics. Went from sweet and remorseful to bitter and resentful real quick. You know, I wouldn't be in this situation if you had been more supportive, she wrote one night. Maybe if you had actually believed in me instead of doubting everything, things wouldn't have fallen apart. I couldn't help it. I actually laughed at that one. Believed in her? I funded her business. I built her damn website. I bought her supplies. Hell, I even defended her ridiculous CEO nonsense until she made it impossible to ignore reality. But that was the thing about Anna, accountability was never her strong suit. Then came the moment I'd been waiting for. The final stage. Pure, unfiltered regret. A knock on my door. It was a Sunday night. I was watching TV with the girls when I heard it. Soft, hesitant. I already knew who it was before I even got up. The girls looked at me, eyes wide, and I just shook my head. Stay here, I told them, and walked to the door. I pulled it open to see Anna standing there, looking nothing like the confident, self-proclaimed entrepreneur she'd once been. Her expensive clothes? Gone. Her hair? Messy. Her eyes? Red and puffy, like she'd been crying for hours. Mike, she whispered. Can we talk? I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. About what? She swallowed hard, glanced past me toward the house. About everything. I didn't move, didn't invite her in, just stared. I lost everything, she admitted, voice breaking. The business, the money. Brad, all of it. I waited. I thought I was building something real, she continued. I thought I was doing something that mattered. But I was stupid. I let Jenny fill my head with all this empowerment crap, let Brad manipulate me into thinking I needed him to succeed. I lost my family, my marriage, my kids, all for nothing. There it was. The confession. The truth. But it was too late. I don't know what you want me to say, Anna, I said flatly. That I feel sorry for you? That I forgive you? I shook my head. I don't. Her lip trembled. I just want a second chance. A second chance. A chance to undo everything. A chance to pretend like she hadn't ripped our family apart for some delusional business fantasy. A chance to erase the nights Zoe cried herself to sleep. The days Maya waited at school, hoping this time her mom would show up. She wanted a second chance? Too bad. You already got your second chance, I told her. Every time I tried to pull you back. Every time I begged you to focus on your family. Every time the girls needed you, and you chose your business instead. You had 100 second chances, Anna. I exhaled sharply, and you wasted every single one. Her face crumpled. Tears welled up in her eyes, but I felt nothing. No sympathy. No sadness. Just a cold, detached clarity. This was what she chose. Now she had to live with it. I stepped back and shut the door in her face. Anna didn't knock again. She just stood there for a few seconds, probably waiting for me to change my mind. But I didn't. I stood behind the door, listening, waiting. After a minute, I heard her footsteps retreat, heard her car door slam. Then silence. I exhaled, shaking off whatever leftover tension was still clinging to me, and turned back toward the living room. Zoe and Maya were sitting on the couch, looking at me. "She's gone," I said simply. Zoe nodded, staring down at her hands. Maya just curled up against the couch, hugging a pillow. Neither of them said a word, but I could see the relief in their eyes. The exhaustion. They were done with her, too. And that's when it really hit me. There was no fixing this. Not just with me. Not just with our marriage. But with them. Anna had done too much damage. And now? She was nothing more than a fading echo of a mistake we had all learned from. The weeks that followed were quiet. Peaceful. No more dramatic texts. No more surprise visits. Anna must have finally accepted reality because she stopped reaching out altogether. I heard bits and pieces through my mom. Apparently, she was struggling to find work. Her failed empire wasn't exactly a great addition to her resume, and she had no real skills to fall back on. Jenny? She was still trying to sell her feminine energy coaching nonsense, but no one was buying it. The two of them had burned every bridge, spent every dollar, and alienated every person who had once supported them. All that empowerment? All that boss babe talk? It amounted to nothing. And me? I was better than ever. I focused on the girls, took them on weekend trips, helped Zoe with basketball practice, made sure Maya actually had someone to help with her homework. The laughter came back to our house. The warmth. The sense of family that Anna had abandoned. Then, a few months later, something interesting happened. One afternoon, I got a package in the mail. No return address. Just a small box with my name on it. I opened it up and nearly laughed. Inside? One of Anna's soap bars. Not just any soap bar. It was the first one she ever made. The original. The one she used to test scents, to experiment, to build the foundation of what she thought would be her legacy. And tucked beside it? A note. I was wrong about everything. You were the best thing I ever had, and I threw it away. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed you to know that. Take care of our girls. Anna. I stared at it for a long time. And for the first time since everything went down, I felt something close to pity. Not because I missed her. Not because I wanted her back. But because she had finally realized the truth. She spent so long chasing an illusion, trying to convince herself she was destined for something greater, that she forgot what actually mattered. And by the time she woke up, it was too late. I placed the soap bar on my desk. Not as a reminder of her, but as a reminder of how easily people can lose themselves chasing something that was never real. Because at the end of the day, reality always wins. And that, Reddit, is how my wife lost everything. Her marriage, her kids, her business, her self-respect, all for a scam. And me? I walked away clean. The end.